what should we do? This kind of fits in that same vein. What should we do to guard against arrogance and pride while we are forgiving? Like you're now the really spiritual one. Look what a good thing I'm doing to you. How do we guard against that while we're forgiving?
You want to take it? I was just thinking, you know, if you keep I think of the parable of the unforgivable servant, and if we keep that in mind, meaning that you know, the master forgave this servant a huge debt, millions of dollars, and let him go. And then he turned around and, in a servant-to-servant relationship, went and exacted what the other servant owed him, $10. You know, so you have a comparison of $10 versus $10 million, and he choked him, you know, asking for the money that he owed him. So when the master heard about it, he called him back and said, I'm going to put you in jail, send you to the torturers until you pay the last penny. And so will I do to those who don't forgive their brother. And so I think if we keep that in mind and recognize what we have been forgiven, that's the model that should help us, because there is infinite value. What God has forgiven from us, you know, has infinite value. He's infinitely valuable. So we do so much more damage in a day to God than everybody does to us in a day. So, so I think if we keep that in perspective, it helps us to forgive.
Chris, any comments you have on that at all?
No.
I knew that was coming. All right. Ed?
Just a brief comment. You know, I think in everything we do, we always have to watch and guard our motives and why we are doing what we're doing and expressing what we're expressing. If we're truly forgiving, ask first, can I just do this in my heart and never say anything? I'm really, the forgiveness has taken place before I start to express it. Because sometimes if arrogance and pride are involved, or our real motive is that we just want to get in another dig about something that's happened to us, and so it gives us an after. Then we've sinned other sins. Arrogance and pride are just as much a sin as unforgiveness or other things that we might do, and so we have other issues to deal with. So we've got to guard our hearts and our motives all the time, because in reality we can sin against someone who has offended us while we're expressing forgiveness toward them. If our heart, our attitude, and our motives aren't right.
Yeah, if you're counting or need credit, you're proud. And Brad, you were going to say something as well.
No, Ed just said, as usual, our elders' meetings would be half as long as they are if Ed would just talk first, usually. So, no, he said what I was going to say.
Good.
I was just thinking, you know, the battle for us obviously is not to offend as believers, but probably a stronger battle for us is not to sin as we are being offended. You know, the reaction that we may have.
You know, I would say that's, Brad mentioned our meetings and our team here, but I could say at least there's 3 guys here I know I've had to go to and say on this team, hey, I was wrong, will you forgive me? And in that exchange, there wasn't sin on their part or in their response. I mean, it's just forgiving is what we do a lot of times, isn't it, guys? We just, when you run close together and you're working and you're ministering, I think you know that from church life. And we've said this before, it takes 1,000 forgivenesses for a church to work well. And if anyone were to root themselves in some sense of like, well, I'm going to hold on to something, man, it'll just slow down the wheels, and you individually or us collectively just won't really get much traction.
That's true for the home, too.
Yeah.
Marriage and family. I mean, forgiveness is the grease that keeps those functioning well.